Alright, it is 9:17 a.m. April the 29th, 21, and these are the stocks on the main watch list right here on this screen. We got two number 5 patterns, so these have run enough of days that if it has a morning panic, I'd call it a number 5 pattern. These would be pretty nice. Just to remind myself, I have to be looking at, just to get an idea, support and resistance levels on a multi-day chart. I need to look for a reversal in level 2. I need to wait or sometimes be on the lookout for a big volume candle. It's not an exact science. There could be stutter steps. This one in particular, GGII, looks a bit choppy. So is GVS. Wait, is this the same? Why does it? They look very similar. Maybe there was something there with the chart, but they're both very choppy, so it's not too ideal. BPSR is reminding me a lot of what is it? RGBP. This one had a nice run. I don't know if I can still find it in the chart somewhat. Let me do a 10 minute, 20 day. Just a nice run up. We'll see if it can do something like that. This one's going to be a nice stock. I might consider this too for a morning panic, but I'll be extra speculative just because it's not, it's not been up a bunch of days, so that's something to take into consideration. And then on the other screen, I have some other stocks, but some of them just don't have much volume trading, or it's just not the best. I will be looking at some like, LTNC and HMBL for morning panics too. So that's the mindset I have right now. Just wanted to make this watch list here a bit smaller, more organized. We'll be looking forward to potential morning panic setups as well as any uptrending stock plays. Maybe I can get closer into buying those, like first dip under VWAP setups and all the other ones that I've been looking at. Alright, 9:35 a.m. Just gonna make a quick update. GGII, I bought and sold. This is first morning panic that looks pretty nice. It's a nice run up on the daily chart. I bought at 275, right at this level. I believe this was the minute, 9:32 actually. So I bought in this red candle. That's actually a bit different, but it was right towards the turn, towards the next first green candle. And I sold at 284 because I'm a chicken, right here at the top of this candle. I should have, or at least in the future, I'll consider selling half of my position, so then I can hold longer the rest of the shares. But overall, not too bad. I don't know why this doesn't update, but I think I'm up like 13 bucks. It's not a lot. I traded the normal-ish, $500 average position, so I think this was like a $450 position. I will be looking forward to a higher low setup, another one that dropped, although not as nice. Okay, I don't know how that happened, but I guess I'll look at RGBP too. This one kind of worked out. Volume wasn't too nice. I'll keep looking for more morning panics, and we'll be considering higher lows off the morning panic level. Okay, it's 9:45 a.m. BPSR. I will be looking for some kind of a again, just like what I said yesterday. If the VWAP catches up and it kind of downtrend this stock, downtrends below it, or maybe right at it, and holds, that wouldn't be too bad. My issue is that I'm just pretty much scared because it's not the first day. It could just fade the rest of the day today, and then it would just break the VWAP level. I guess I have to wait for some kind of a sign that it's going to reverse, then to try to buy the very bottom like a morning panic setup, trying to guess the level. Instead, I'll just wait for it to form a little. Very nice spike here. Again, had I have bought this one instead of IGEX the other day for that nice close into the market, run up, that would have been very cool. But that's a good lesson. Just pick the most volatile volume traded stock. IGX didn't have much volume, and that's why when it dropped today, I didn't consider it at all, just because the volume is bad. Still, it could have had great potential, so that's good. GGII did do the spike here. I was looking for a follow-up like a higher low This isn't a higher low, this is a lower low, so I didn't touch that, and it's actually doing the same thing. This one did it too, a bit choppier, but you know, it made a lower low from here, and what do you know, it's doing the same thing, so that's pretty interesting. Oh, look, more into stuff like this, but it might just be randomness. Still very nice. BSPR again, yeah, I wanted the VWAP to catch up a little. I guess it'll depend on the price action, but if it just, you know, all the way at 55 and it drops to 45 or below the VWAP, then maybe I don't really want to consider it anymore. So that's the state that I'm in right now, those setups that I'm truly interested in, but I'll be looking. Alright, it is 10:04 a.m. Just gonna make a quick update. Looks like they're still, you know, they're choppy, but GBSI did a little bit of an inverse head and shoulder, shoulder, head, shoulder, broke past the VWAP, and now is doing this uptrend. It's, I would say it's halfway predictable to me, and then halfway random, a big spike like that. But no, I guess it's pretty predictable, but I don't know, maybe if the inverse head shoulders was cleaner. I didn't see it then and there. GGII could be that first dip under VWAP, but I don't like how, well, this one isn't too bad. But the issue is that this thing is red on the day. It could do it, obviously. I'm still learning the setup, and maybe more often than not it could still work, but I want this setup to happen on the stock at least up 20%. So when this thing is, you know, red on the day and it breaks under VWAP like that, that actually looks kind of bad. We do have a big seller here. It could still work, but it's just a bit sketchy. BSPR, well, BPSR actually did it here, but just one candle down, and I don't like how I got there. Just, you see the volume here is just a streak of red candles, not really the way I would want it to drop there. This is a bit more like it in terms of the percentage, how much it's up on the day, but again, I just don't like how I got there. It could still work out though, so you know, I'll just keep learning from it. And SPZI, very sketchy stock. It's just a watch, very interesting. You know, the spread is pretty big on these sub-penny stocks. It's just gonna be a watch. I don't see anything with this stock, and that's all I got at the moment. Okay, it's 10:25 a.m. I was close to buying, but just a small, like $80 position, just because it's just our practice with CUBV. A price action is okay. I don't like the volume though. The volume is pretty bad. The idea is that this thing is breaking past this 55 level, so we had this nice uptrend, right? Broke past 55, got 62, and then it drops to 55, holds, and then uptrends. It could do it. It could totally do it. I don't like the volume though. The volume is bad, and I don't like how it dropped so much lower than that 55 level. Maybe I'm just being picky, but you know, confirmed breakout is usually better. Like maybe 55 spikes to 65 and then it drops to, you know, 54 at the worst case, but we dropped to 52 and the volume is bad. This could still work. I will just watch and see and learn from it how it does. BPSR did do an uptrend from that level, but again, this thing is fading volume. It's just not good risk reward if you ask me. GGII is also fading volume, although it's starting to pick up here, but not for the right reasons. It's selling. GVSI is continuing the uptrend. I just don't want to trade this. It's a bit far from the VWAP level, so I'm just leaving that alone. SPZI, the sketchy one, just keeps going, but I guess now it's starting to trail up and down, so there's not going to be any setups here right now. I will just be looking, and I will see how CUBV does. No true setups that I want to trade at the moment. Okay, it's 11:05 a.m. and I haven't been looking at the markets too much, but there are some nice setups. I just wasn't there for it. I began to work on other stuff, and that's what I'm gonna do. I have to go to the garage and keep working on some stuff with my main business, and when I come back, I will be, if I'm able to, I don't know, I might even miss the market close. I'll look and see if there's any stocks maybe around power hour that would be interesting for, you know, a buying to the market close. This one, most impressive, EXLA. This one did a dip to the VWAP level and it bounced nicely. So I mean 18 to 27, that's a lot of range. That's really good. But the problem is that at this time there just wasn't a lot of volume. So when there's not a lot of volume, it could also mean that people are not buying this anymore and it downtrends. But no, we have that midday spike. That's pretty impressive. BPSR just broke this level again. VWAP is not doing anything nice as the volume is weak. This is what could have happened with the XLA upside. This is a very nice spiker, very volatile. So in theory that's what it is. And you know, this stock was just like that the other day. CUBV, nothing I wanted to trade. I was going for that 55 breakout. I guess it did do it in theory. Was kind of thrown off that it dropped this much and the volume was dry. And yeah, it was pretty dry until it wasn't, right? So 55 to 60, I guess that's best case scenario. Just not really good because there isn't much volume. There is volatility but no volume here. GGII, nothing I want to trade either. Nothing too nice. This one could keep going, who knows. GVSI looks like an inverse head and shoulders kind of. I could actually even consider this one, but it's a bit risky because you know it's not many days. Volume isn't nice here either, but this could be like an inverse head and shoulders, shoulder, head, shoulder, and it's holding very nicely this 35 level. It could do an uptrend. This wouldn't be too bad, but I'm not going to be too interested in it because I don't like how this and a lot of these other stocks are having fading volume. SPZI did do a drop towards VWAP 25 to 30. That one's nice. Just didn't see it. Don't know if I would have traded it. Probably more likely. It's just a bit sketchy, this stock, the way it trades, but it does have more volume. At least it seems to have more volume, more liquidity. So yeah, I'm going to call it off from here. I'll look for more setups, but that will be towards the end of the day. I have to work on a bunch of stuff in the meantime. Alright, it is 7:33 p.m. So I did a whole bunch of work in the garage, and I actually had one more trade, very small position size on my laptop. It's not professional at all. In the garage, I'll attach a photo of it, but I did trade BPSR, and it was a tiny position because of the fact that I wasn't really at, you know, this main computer right here. I was on the laptop, and the screen, it's a good laptop. I like it. It's a HP ProBook, but it's from 2009. It's pretty fast. They ran E-Trade Pro without any problems. I upgraded the processor a few months ago to a quad-core processor, and it seems to have helped a lot. It did absolutely fine. The issue is that the chart was just too small on the screen, couldn't really see very much, and you know, I did trade a small position. With all of these things, I just wanted to play it extra safe, so I bought BPSR at 330. So I bought at 330 because of the fact that, you know, I was thinking of a nice run up towards the market close, and that's exactly what we had actually. But I didn't hold it very long. Again, I bought at, you know, 1530, so 330 right here. But right here, I looked at it here when it broke past 60, right? And I was just watching it, wasn't really trying to buy it. It did get up to 62, but when it dropped here to a previous level of support around 56, give or take, it even dropped a little below it. That's when I considered a buy right there, you know, and just risking it off of it not really breaking much lower than 56, because it was overall an important level, especially if you look back in the morning. So this was the buy I had at 30. Price action just didn't really seem that good, so I bought at specifically what is it, 56.37. So let's say about right here, right, you know, in this level. And then I sold just slightly higher. It did get to 57, and then it kind of dropped back, and I didn't like the price action then. Eventually, yeah, it dropped more, but it still held that 56 level. Maybe if I was here on my computer with, you know, larger position size, I would have observed it more, and the screen wouldn't have been so squished together. The screen was like, if I don't mess this up, but the screen was something like that. It was kind of hard to look at it, but it could have been much worse. It wasn't laggy, so I eventually sold just for a little more. It was a tiny position size. I made 0.67%, 57 pennies, and on my other trade with GGII it was 3%, and that was a much larger position size. It did get that nice close. It wasn't crazy nice, but it was definitely nice. Even touched 60 at one point. The setup was there. I traded it. Just could have held a bit longer had I been in a better setup. Maybe it would have held longer, but I'm getting closer to working on this setup, buying stocks. And this one wasn't too perfect because it was the second day, not the first day, but buying stocks that are doing it nicely. Lots of volume, lots of volatility. First day, ideally. This was the second day, nice close. This was it. Maybe next time I'll get even closer. CUBV never really did much. I was interested at one point for a potential confirmed breakout. I think it was over 50 or 55, I forgot. Just no volume. That's fine. EXLA is up a lot. Volume isn't really that good, but it's still up a lot on the day. Just uptrend it a little bit here. Here's more of a double bottom. GGII. This is the one I bought for that morning panic. Doesn't look like much. One thing I could have done better is probably sell half the position. Just to lock in some profits and then hold a little longer the rest, because then I won't be anxious of having to sell on a downtrend. Just to have some sold for a profit. So then if it uptrends more, I can hold it longer. It didn't uptrend too much. It was only 3 minutes of bounce. I was looking for higher low setups. Didn't do it. It actually made a lower low. And from there it started the official bounce from 26 to 32. So that's pretty nice range. Again, that's something I'll look forward to. Understanding more happened here with GVSI. It made a lower low. And this one had a baby stutter before it actually got to the bounce from 29 to 35, so that's pretty impressive. SPZI, and a lot of these I just stopped looking at because I had to do that work with my main business, and a lot of them just started to have low volume. SPZI looks impressive. I guess this one would have offered a small opportunity. No, not really. BPSR was the nice one to buy and sell towards the market close. Of course, anybody who bought yesterday, towards the market close, this is the one I missed because I picked, what was it, IGX? Yeah. BPSR was just nicer because they had more volume. Anybody who bought would have been rewarded nicely to have a nice morning spike to sell into. I'm just not ready for that. It's still a bit scary. There's always a chance of being halted. I just have to, probably have more guts to trade stuff like that. And I'll just keep working on other setups in the meantime. It does seem nice. If I consistently see these things start to work more, I'll consider it. But for right now, not really. Just overall a good trading day. 2 trades. GGII was a nice, morning panic dip buy, and BPSR was a nice buy into the close. Had I have held longer and all those things that I mentioned, would have been much more profitable. It was going to be a tiny position, so I wouldn't have made much anyway, but it was a great learning experience, and thankful to God. I'll look forward to the next day. A lot of great things learned. I look forward to rewatching this.